Hello everyone and welcome back to the Sounds of You with Saxophonist Jamal Riley. So in this video I'm going to be covering another option where you can get your saxophone from, and that is pawn shops. Now before we get into this, I just want to say pawn shops can be tricky for a number of reasons. You can find some pretty good deals at a pawn shop, and what I mean by pretty good deals, usually alto saxophones, of course, they're going to be used. They usually go somewhere around $350, maybe $400, depending upon the brand and model. You know, in past years, you know, you could honestly find a steal at a pawn shop, but and that was based on if they had a gem, if the pawn shop had a gem and they didn't know it was a gem. You know what I mean? So, but now with the age of technology, you know, it's just all too easy to just look up, see, you know, as long as you got a brand and model number, it's all too easy to look up and compare prices and see what these things are going for. So here's my recommendation. It's quite a fine line when you're looking at getting an instrument from a pawn shop, because what we have to consider when we're getting an instrument from a pawn shop is that these people in the pawn shops oftentimes are, number one, not musicians, and if they are musicians, they may only know about their particular instrument. They might not know about all instruments. I'm speaking band right now. So, you know, it's common. I've been in pawn shops before and used as a guitar player. Guitar player don't know anything about a clarinet or a saxophone. They know what it looks like. They know what the price tags say. But here's the problem: pawn shops have instruments that are pre-used. Or used. That's not an issue. But the issue is when they get these instruments, they might not be aware of the condition of they are. So you might find a saxophone, a legitimate saxophone, for $350, but it may need quite a bit of work. So sometimes. But still, this might be a viable option for you considering the price range of saxophone. So one of the most heftiest repairs on a saxophone is a saxophone repad. So suppose you go and get a saxophone for $350 from a pawn shop. If the average good saxophone is between $1,100 and $1,500, if you spend $350 or the $400 on the actual saxophone itself, and say you need a sax repad. A sax repad is one of the most costly repairs that you can pay for on a saxophone. And the reason it costs so much is because they have to completely disassemble the saxophone and to clean it and to get a job done. So that's usually around $400 itself. So still, all in all, you're looking at about $800, even if you go that route. But here's the thing about it: this is money outright. You know what I mean? So there's no installations or no monthly fees on that, so it's just you got to have this cash up front. That's the other thing about pawn shops. But like I said, the main thing is you don't know the condition of the instrument, and so but like I said, you come across some pretty sweet deals. Like for instance, I had a lady reach out to me. She was like, she found a Yamaha YS-23, which is the beginner level Yamaha saxophone. She found one of those in a pawn shop for $350. And I told her to get on it immediately. She said, well, shouldn't I check to see should I have someone go check to see if it works or not? I said, it doesn't matter if it works or not. That's it. Number one, that particular model of beginner level saxophones is one of the best. It's one of the most costly, new as well. So the fact that you're finding that guy for $350, even if you had to put $700 worth of repairs in it, it still would be well worth it. So this person did end up going to go get it, and I think they may have put maybe $200 worth of repairs in it. So you got one of the best beginner level instruments for $500. So that's the good thing about pawn shops, because it's all about availability and what you really look up on. You know, because I've been to pawn shops many times, and the pawn shop people do not know anything about these instruments. So it's very rare. I hadn't met one yet who actually know about saxophones other than knowing about them from a salesman perspective. They don't know about them as far as testing them out, see how they work, see other than obvious things. Okay, you see dings on the bell and stuff like that. But anyway, just want to give you guys some another option as far as where you can get your instruments from besides in music stores and online. Pawn shops are a viable option, but just know that this is the risk that you run when you go to a pawn shop. I have seen several people have success with pawn shops. But on the flip side of that, there have been some people who've not been so successful in the pawn shop. So I just want to make sure that you make an informed decision if you choose to go that route. Well, I hope that you find this video helpful. So we've talked about going to stores, we talked about going online, we talked about pawn shops now. So I'll see you in the next video where we talk about rental options. All right.